Hi, welcome everyone to this Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023 business meeting. Can everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, Ms. Santos, correspondence?
Mariah Paredes, Chair and National Competitions Policy Violations. Joanne Dianaka, Candidate, thank you. Georgia Sabo Gear on Transportation Entitlement.
Thank you, Ms. Santos. Dr. Yanni, I'll turn it over to you for the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Ms. Kowalski, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 23-24 school year. I hope everybody is having a wonderful summer. I know it's going fast. We have been doing a lot of work over here at the schools, all the schools. So it's been boring on our end, dealing with, they're all nice people, but dealing with contractors, plumbers, electricians. We'd rather have students around. So the work is going well. I know that Ms. Raynor is going to give us an update on what's going on. The second thing that I want to talk to you about is this is the second consecutive year that Oyster Bay High School was honored as a Scholar Athlete School of Excellence by the New York State Public High School Athletic Association. To become a school of excellence, 75% of schools' varsity teams must qualify and receive the Scholar Athlete Team Award during the school year. Teams are presented with the Scholar Athlete recognition at the end of their season if 75% of their roster has a GPA of greater or equal to 90. The high school strives to get 100%, and that's what we're doing every single year. So on behalf of the entire Board of Education, I would like to congratulate all our student athletes, the coaches, the staff, the administration for their commitment to raise these wonderful students. They are not just wonderful students, but also amazing athletes. So congratulations. This has been a busy summer, like I said before, with the construction and everything going on. So I would be remiss if I don't personally thank all the head custodians and all the custodians in all of our buildings. We have Mike Rispoli at the high school, Wayne Placella at Vernon, and Andy Testa at Roosevelt, and all the custodians literally working around the clock to keep the school in great shape and ready for the opening of school in September. So thank you. You're doing a wonderful job. We're grateful to have you, and you're always there for our students and for our staff. So thank you. We've been the board and the entire committee, we've been interviewing and been busy at hiring the right people for our students and the right administrators for our students, the one that will support them. So tonight, you'll see on the agenda two of our administrators that are going to be appointed. We will have Dr. Joyanne Danka appointed as the Director of Guidance. So Joyanne is here with us. I'm not going to congratulate you. I think they take the recommendation most of the time. So I want to congratulate and wait on that. And we also have an additional one that is going to be Renata Enka. She's going to be appointed as the Supervisor of World Language and ENL. So congratulations for now, but we wait. So at this point, I think we go straight into the facility update. And the Board of Education goes first. Okay, great. So we have a presentation. The board has been working together with the entire administrative team, and I know we're going to bring up the Board of Education goals. So the board has been working on the Board of Education, every year works on Board of Education goals, and those are the guidelines that we follow throughout the year. So when you look at the Board of Education goals, we focus on three main categories. The first one is student achievement, finance, and also community. So, thank you. So the vision has been consistent since I came and has been to empowering all students to achieve excellence. That is something that we believe in every word, and we believe in the fact that every student can be successful. The three categories, like I said, is student achievement, finance and operations, and community. Each one is presented, we worked with the Board of Education, and then we present to our administrative team, to the teachers, to the staff, and throughout the year, we give an update on those goals. So when you look at student achievement, obviously the first one is to utilize all personnel and resource to support our students in order to improve the student achievement. Prioritize all the experience to enrich and expand the academic careers behind the classroom setting. And a lot of the work that we do, even the facility update, the bond work that we've been doing, those are aiming at providing those students with those opportunities, not just on paper and the curriculum, but also with the physical change of the structure of the building. And the third piece is enhance and implement a system of support so all students and families remain connected and supported. That's very important at this time to make sure that throughout the high school experience and K-12, that we provide all the support that we can to the students so they can be successful even when they leave Oyster Bay. The second piece is the finance and operation. Obviously, nothing would be possible if we don't if we don't look at the finance. So the first thing would be to support a multi-year plan that will enhance multi-year plan, so we don't look just at 1 year, but we look at all the years, at least 5 years in advance, and prioritize our spending. The second thing is look at the infrastructure and look at the district assets and see what we can do to mitigate the risk of physical and cyber threats. That's always something that we keep an eye on it, and I know that our Director of Technology and the entire team are working very hard on that. And the third piece is the 21st Century Capital Improvement Projects. We've been doing a lot of work. We are continuing to do work, literally working around the clock to make sure that everything is delivered on time, on budget, sometimes trying to go under budget, and deliver a product that is deliver a school and remodel a school that will make our students and our community very proud. The third piece is the community, and we believe in this piece because I think that a lot of work that we do inside the school is important, but it's also important that we publicize the work that we do on the outside. So to have a positive school climate and culture, improve the communication and connection, make sure that everything is transparent as is posted, all the work that we do inside the school at the curriculum level, the structural level, anywhere, and continue to emphasize the district communication and advocate. I mean, the board has been very proactive in creating a connection with legislators, with senators, to make sure that we get the funding that we need, to get the support that we need from every level, the county level, the state level, to provide the students with the best support that we can. I mean, together, we believe that when we look at the Board of Education goals, they have one mission in place, and that's very simple. And the mission is to empower all students to achieve excellence, and we're doing great every single day. So very proud. I want to thank the board. They spend a lot of time looking at those goals, revising it, and obviously out of those goals come personal goals for the superintendent, for myself, for my team, and we will continue to give an update to the community. So thank you to the board for the time, and we're looking forward to work with you and make the school the best it can be. So thank you. The next piece is an update from Deputy Superintendent, on all the wonderful work that is going on. We were going to take you on a tour, but we decided to do a presentation, so it's a lot of you tonight, so that was a good idea on your part.
All right, so since we can't take you on tour, I'll hopefully take you through a little bit of a virtual tour here for the bond update. Just to, again, provide the community an update on all the projects that are happening that we started last year and continuing through phase 2 of this year. First and foremost, we are on schedule, on budget, which is always a big target that we're trying to maintain every single step of the way. So starting with the turf fields is an exciting piece. As many of you have seen last year, we did all the work and we've completed. So to start with a little bit of finalization, to actually see this turf field in use, we had a beautiful ribbon cutting ceremony. Thank you for everybody involved. And it was fantastic to see, the athletes, the band, the broadcasting team, everybody out there really participating in doing a ribbon cutting ceremony. So here we see the final complete project of all the work that happened over the course of last summer, as well as through the year for some final touches. And it was really amazing to see, after all the work that went through, as Dr. Yanni said, spending day in and day out with architects and engineers and construction managers and contractors, although there are fantastic people, this is what makes it all worth it, to see our students out there. And sorry, I'm going to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this was the culminating activity of Wellness Week, where the whole students came out there and walked through around the whole field. So it was amazing to see, and this is why we do what we do. So I do want to start with that, because hopefully by next summer, I'm going to show you why we are doing what we're doing with all the mess and dirt right now at TR and Vernon. So starting here at the high school still, as we go into phase 2, again, this is a messier stage, so no students here yet. But this is just a rendering of where we started the design phase for phase 2. And you can see we really looked at the traditional architectural aspects of the front of the building and tried to bring it around to the side entrance, which is now used as the main entrance with the security vestibule. So I'll go through some of these pictures quickly, but just as a reminder, as throughout last year, all the presentations of the updates, this presentation is not only posted on board docs on the agenda, but it's also posted on the Board of Education website under 21st Century Capital Improvement Project. So if you do want to go back, take some more detail and some time, feel free to access them in either of those places. So here's the kind of before picture of as they started to dig. A lot of steel work going in there, because as you saw in the rendering, we did a creep over and overhang to do a protection from the elements for the students as they approached. You can see the structures on either side going up with the masonry. There you go, a little bit of a close-up, and again, you can see the architectural detail that matches the existing traditional building from 1929 in the front. The plywood pieces are simply just some of the more custom pieces that are still on order coming in, hopefully having those in fairly soon. And you can see some of the final touches of the concrete, the asphalt, everything getting back ready for the students to be able to enter school in just a few short weeks. As we move into the building, the other space in phase 2 is behind the library, which this is the existing library. So if you see the window and doors in the back there, you see currently on the right, there's a storage room behind it. On the left, was another just kind of annex to the library. We are turning that into more of a functional space or an innovation lab for our students, including an area for robotics and collaboration space. So you can see that soffit and the new cutouts have been made to put bigger glass panels to be able to view in and really create that space as part of our existing library. Again, this is just a reminder of the floor plan. These are all more detailed from presentations when we were in the design phase last fall. This is a rendering of what it's going to look like. You can see those glass panels do retract back to, again, allow more open space or more closed space, depending on what work is getting done. So just a couple before pictures as they go through the construction. This area required a lot of steel work and a lot of structural work because of where the exterior wall of the building was. So you can see some of the demolition got pretty dirty in there for a while before we get it put back together. So that's where we are there. As we move upstairs to the broadcasting studio, this is the 3 classrooms that we're referring to as the 21st century classrooms right along the front of the building. On the top of this picture here, you can see those are the column piers where you enter the front entrance off Main Street. These are the 3 classrooms that align the front of the building on the 2nd floor, with the broadcasting studio on one end, and then the middle room and the far room, the Google Lounge or the Collab space is connected, which you'll see over the next few slides. So a quick rendering of the broadcasting studio, where we started exposing some of the older brick, starting the demolition, cutting windows and doors in to allow the space be more open and visible from the corridor. And of course, being a broadcasting, as Mr. Dolan and the team knows, you need to control all your light and sound in that room. So you will see that it is painted very dark in there to allow for better broadcasting and taping, I should say. So this is the older space that now has become maintained, but turned into a control room for our students to actually learn on industry standard equipment to get that experience. Again, this is just a updated picture. Moving to the clap spaces, that middle classroom expanded over to the far classroom. This is a quick rendering. Again, you can see the far dark wall into the broadcasting studio. So this is in the middle room looking at the outside wall of the broadcasting studio. You can see there's different setups from the furniture perspective to allow students to collaborate from different curriculum. I know our instructional team is working really hard to get different projects together for our students. This is where the demolition starts coming in. As you can see through these pictures, over the few weeks, the demolition happens, and we are now in the painting and final stages of it. This is still that middle room, now looking away from the broadcasting studio into the furthest room. You can see that glass wall will allow to that space to open and have more of a collaboration for multiple classrooms to be in there at the same time. This is what it looked like before. Again, clearly no glass, was not connected. It was two completely separate rooms, which they have now broken through, not only to the corridor, but to the two classrooms. And you can see the whole middle panels taken out where you will have sliding glass doors to, again, use as two separate instructional spaces or one large collaborative space. This is all the way in the far room, looking all the way back into the middle room right here. Again, different seating styles. As we talked about during the design phase, students sit any which way they can to really just have that innovation space. So this is that far classroom, again, looking back. That wall is no longer, that's where that glass wall is now. You can see here they've opened up, rerunning some of the wires to get them out of the way, tucked up tight. This is that last room. If you can see in that text on that is actually a fully writable wall. So students can go in there and really just brainstorm all different types of ideas. So to go through some of the construction pictures, you can see the demolition here as well. Moving on to Vernon, this is the rendering of what it's going to look like. The far left side has the addition for the music wing to support our increase in the band program and our newly increasing strings program. And off to the right side of this picture, you can see that stone where that door is an extension to the cafeteria because it is more of a multi-use space at the school. Just some renderings for some perspective. This is the rendering of what the cafeteria is going to look like. Clearly, we're still in the demolition phase here as well, to show you how the wall is now going up. A lot of drainage was added in, so anybody who was passing Vernon, you saw very large holes in the front, which are now closed up. You can see the new drainage has been installed, and it's looking ready for students in about another week or so, all closed up. As I go around to the side of the building, you can see again the music wing has the band, the general music, and the orchestra strings program space. This is what the rendering will look like, hopefully by next summer. And just some more demolition pictures as they start going and laying the foundation walls, moving right along there. Also at TR, the building extension to allow classroom and support space to better meet the needs of our students. This is the rendering really following the same style that we used over at the kindergarten extension wing years ago. And again, demolition, leveling the ground, getting all the helical piles because we're so close. This foundation was a little bit different than the one at Vernon to make sure we're addressing the water issues, being so close to the water, I should say. So they are moving right along with the foundation. I do want to make important, I have received some questions to make sure everybody knows that the playground is still open for our students. The playground is still open for our community. There will be some days in which we have to close it, not only during the day, but for our community, just for the safety, depending on the construction. So that will be made on as daily or weekly basis, but the goal is to keep it open as long as we can. But if you do see the gate lock, just please respect that it is going to be for the safety of all those. And the concession stand is still accessible from the stands and around, although there is fencing there, it's still accessible to get around for our home football games. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I want to just tell everyone the work that both you and Ms. Rayner have done, Dr. Yanni, this summer, coordinating a $22 million project with all the work that's been going on this summer. You can imagine how much work it goes into just remodeling something in your own home. But this is a huge, huge project. And they've been at the school nonstop on the weekends, not taking vacation, I know, to make sure everything comes out right. In fact, I just talked to Dr. Yanni. I asked him how his weekend was, and he said, "Oh, it was great. Do you know I saved $8,000 by power washing the bricks ourselves? We got a quote, and I'm not paying $8,000." I said, "That's what you did this weekend." He said, "Yeah, but it looks great." But I want to thank you both really for all the time you both have been putting into this. Let's move on to the approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes as listed and attached below?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to the opportunity for the public to be heard on agenda items. In accordance with the open meetings law, school board meetings where school district business will be discussed are open to the public. The Oyster Bay East Norwich Board of Education welcomes public comment at its meetings. The Board of Education will respond to comments and/or inquiries in the appropriate manner. This portion of the meeting is designed exclusively for agenda items. A sign-in book is provided for those residents wishing to address the board. In order to be recognized, you must be signed in. Each speaker will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes. The board president will call you to the microphone in the order in which you've signed in. Public discussion is prohibited regarding matters relating to an individual's reputation, privacy, or right to due process, which in some way could be violated. A second commentary period is provided for non-agenda items prior to adjournment. We thank you for your participation and cooperation. No? Okay. Let's move on to approval of instructional personnel items. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the instructional personnel items as amended in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to congratulate, we have few of the new appointments tonight with us. We have Colleen Mayer, she's over here, so .5 speech pathologist. And we also have Liliana Weaver, she's also over here, and she's going to be a teaching assistant. Melissa Rosasco, a teaching assistant, I'm not sure if Melissa is here. Ronnie Englander, special education teacher. And we also have Elizabeth Manning as ENL teacher. So congratulations, it's a wonderful place. And congratulations to Renata and Dr. Danka.
Thank you. Okay, let me finish this then. We had a motion, a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's go on to section 9.01, approval of non-instructional personnel items. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the non-instructional personnel items as listed. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to business items. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the business items as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to the approval of special services resolutions. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the special services resolution as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Any,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of new business resolutions. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the new business resolutions as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now we're moving on to the public participation on non-agenda items. Opportunity for the public to be heard. Do we have anybody signed in? Is this the order that they were signed in? There we go, yeah, that's good, thank you. Okay, the first person who signed in is Gianna Paredes. Please come to the microphone.
Hello, my name is Gianna Paredes, and I am a cheerleader. I am here to talk about the Board of Education's policy number 8840, field trips and excursions. This policy you have adopted to prevent our varsity cheerleading team from being able to participate in nationals, a one-of-a-kind competition. I want to know the reason you have made this policy. I want to know it is not fair how we are being held back from your harsh decision, but our neighboring towns allow their cheer teams to go despite the distance. For example, Cold Spring Harbor's Town News spoke about how proud they are of their team despite them not even making it to semifinals. They praised them anyway. Glencoe's cheerleading team is building up their program and trying to get a bid to nationals, and here our school is tearing our program down. Seaford got second place in their nation in their division, and Wantagh placed fifth. All we ask is for a shot at that exposure. How can you take our joy and goal for every year and expect us to go along with it and just compete against counties, against schools that have tumbling skills that we do not have? We don't need more gym time at school. It doesn't assist us to compete with high-level tumbling schools. To go on along with this topic, I would like to point out you limiting our exposure to showcase our skills in front of so many people. When we cheer at college, how are we going to not be terrified performing at football and basketball games in university stadiums? It's an experience that is simply necessary so we are used to performing in front of so many people. I have also made a petition less than a week ago, and it had 386 signatures. I would like to read some of the comments from the people. The first response was, "It's ridiculous that they cannot compete. We have pay enough school taxes to support them." Another comment was, "I believe the children should be able to compete wherever." A third one, "Everyone should be included to participate. This is heartbreaking that these girls who put up a lot of sweat, effort, and hard work. Let them join in. They are only young ones. Do you want them to have this as a memory?" Another one said, "Our cheerleaders work so hard. We are a small school and we should support them." And one last comment was, "I grew up in OB. I graduated in 1987, was in sports all year long for 4 years at OBHS. OB has a very powerful, successful women's sports team and should be allowed to compete nationally. Let the Bay women strut their stuff and put on OB on the mat that they deserve to be noticed. You go, girls."
Thank you. And the next one is Alexandra Flores.
Hello, my name is Alexandra Flores, and I am a member of the Oyster Bay varsity cheerleading team. A month ago, it came to our attention that the policy regarding overnight field trips, which limits travel to 550 miles from Oyster Bay, will prevent the team from competing at the National High School Cheerleading Championships down in Florida. This is incredibly disappointing to us, as it is something that our team has been working towards since the end of last season. Not only is this policy a discouragement, and also singles out the cheerleading team as no other team's national champion competitions are impacted. It is preventing us from competing at competitions where we have a fair chance. We are not a tumbling team. There were only 2 girls last year that were able to tumble during competitions because the district does not dedicate funding towards tumbling instruction, as other districts do. Since Nassau County does not have a non-tumbling division, we are forced to compete against teams that have most, if not all, of their girls tumbling. However, there is a non-tumbling division in the national competition, which will allow us to compete on a fair playing field. Additionally, this is not a financial burden for the school district. The only thing that the school paid for last year was the bus ride to and from JFK Airport. The rest of the expenses were covered by the Booster Club, which we are very appreciative of, and the cheerleading team's fundraising, and the families of those athletes who attended last year. Furthermore, last year when the policy was adopted in January, the team took the trip to nationals the following month without any complications regarding this policy. The cheerleading team is encouraging and pleading with you to reconsider the policy, since the only place where we can properly display and achieve excellence is at the national competition. The only student group that this policy intentionally discriminates against are your Oyster Bay cheerleaders. If you could reconsider this policy, the team will forever be grateful for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. And the next one is Ella Reardon Rizzo.
Hello, my name is Ella Rizzo, and I'm an incoming junior at the Oyster Bay varsity cheer team. I just have one question. I would like to know why the board chose to make this new policy of limiting travel to within 550 miles of Oyster Bay. You're taking away possible scholarship opportunities. For example, when the incoming seniors start applying on Common App, there's a section where they can put down all their accomplishments, and taking away the opportunity of going to nationals is limiting their excellence and achievements, along with taking away the possible scholarships that could be earned just by attending. Thank you for taking this moment to hear me out.
Thank you. Michaela Paredes.
My name is Michaela. I'm on the Oyster Bay varsity cheer team, and I heard about the new policy that will not allow anyone to travel more than 550 miles from Oyster Bay, even for a national competition. Section 8 teams that attended this year are Bethpage, Cary, Clark, Cold Spring Harbor, Division, East Meadow, Farmingdale, Freeport, Island Trees, Kennedy, MacArthur, Massapequa, Methven, North Shore, Oceanside, Plain Edge, Seaford, Wantagh, West Hempstead, and us, Oyster Bay. So why are you stopping us from doing what these schools can do? As an 8th grader, this will be my first year allowed to participate in regionals, and I would like the opportunity to attend nationals every year, or at least get the chance to at my cheerleading in Oyster Bay High School. I really do love cheerleading, and nationals is so important to getting better. I also dance, and I do competitions, and sometimes after them, the judges will send my teacher a video of what I did wrong and how I can improve. Nationals is also like that, where judges can make critiques to help us learn and make changes so our team can be great. Just as any other team, our goal is to be wonderful. As you hopefully can see what I'm trying to prove to you, going to nationals is really important for us. It makes an impact on our lives, and to have the chance to attend and participate in something so amazing. I hope you can take this into consideration.
Thank you. And Mariah Paredes.
So I just want to come back, just to circle back to a few points that I was just told about that maybe was not understood clearly, as the girls have also brought out. Tumbling and more time at gym time and being able to have more practice time is not going to help these students. You don't have the equipment, which we wouldn't, because it's just the gym, but we don't have the mats and the equipment to better the tumbling skills, which is the only thing that they compete against, other tumbling schools.
Entire community, and I'm sure it's painful to read that text. I want to assure you of one thing, and that's the most important thing, that the policy of the 550 miles was not created to prevent cheerleaders from competing at national. That was not the intent of the policy. I also want to make it crystal clear that the 550 miles policy that it was put in place was created to align with a policy that was in place for the college trips that was here way before my time. So that 550 miles was created to prevent students from traveling during the winter months far away from school, leading to cost, leading to liability, and leading to other things. So I want to reassure the girls that that the policy was not put in place to prevent you from competing and from being exposed to an event that could potentially get you into college and expose you to great opportunities. The other piece that I think that Mariah, we can focus on is the fact that when we run a district or we create a policy or recommend anything to the district, it has to be consistent with all the other teams. This trip, like any other trip that involves miles of traveling, it comes with a cost. So it's not just the cost of the transportation, but there is other additional expenses that we have to incur. And the question is, we have about 32 teams, 30 teams around that number. We want to make sure that we are fair and consistent across the board. And just like in my own family, it hurts for me to say no to my daughter, to my son, to do things, and this is the same exact way. If I had an unlimited budget, I would allow people to go everywhere in the world and compete and do all the things, but there has got to be a system in place, and that's why that was put in place, that policy was put in place, and not just for cheerleading, but for every event. The other thing that I just want to mention is that when you're dealing with tumbling and non-tumbling and all the things that we can do as a school to help you become more proficient at tumbling, and I don't know anything about cheerleading, that is something that we can explore and we can work on it. I know you have said it multiple times in many of the conversations that we had that that there is nothing you can do to increase the level of the tumbling and become a tumbling event. We cannot compete. But I like to work on that end to make sure that if there is something we can do, we will do. The other thing that I just want to put on the table is, at this point, we don't want to prevent our teams or Oyster Bay to compete at the national level in any form or shape. So I will offer to you, and I said this in public, so it's recorded and we can look back a month from now. If the girls are competing and they're competing at the county level and they are winning and they go to the state level and they compete at the state championship, I will go to the board and recommend a temporary pause on the policy. So we can look back and say, okay, they are winning at the county, they're winning at the state championship. I will go back and I will recommend to the policy for them not to be prevented this opportunity if it comes to that point. I think that it is tough to just understand the fact that with your team that whenever we say no to something and it prevents something from doing something, I think is difficult. But I think that the opening of, if you're winning at the state level, you're still competing in a county, you're still competing at the state level and the regional. So that is something that I can recommend to the board. So I hope I answered some of your questions that you had.
Thank you, Dr. Yanni. Now it's time to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
You have to sign in and speak.
Next meeting.
What was that?
Can she sign in now? You want to sign in?
You have to sign in.
Hi, I'm sorry. My name is Christina Emerson. I didn't have anything really to say before. I just wanted to make a comment on stuff that you had commented on. One was the funds that you're, equaling out to everyone else on the team. No one paid for our girls to cheerlead. All you guys paid for was the transportation, like Mariah pointed out. We all paid for everything. So it doesn't come from a cost from anything from this school. For our girls to get rewarded at the end of the year when they sit here and cheer and work their heart out. And my daughter gotten hurt so many times. I cannot tell you how many times my daughter has fallen on her face and gotten hurt. So now she's gonna have to sit here and do this and then not get rewarded at the end to go and sit here and do nationals if she won as a reward. That's a reward for them. They're going to sit here and work and then maybe not sit here and go and get put to nationals. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely absurd, and I cannot believe we are even here discussing this tonight. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Dr. Yanni, can
Yep.
you clarify the
Yeah.
cost to the district, please?
So there is a cost to the district, and it's not just the transportation, is the lodging, is the fact that we have paid for airfare, hotel, transportation for the supervisor that is going. The number of days that we have to, if we have a substitute in the class, the number of days that the administrator is not here at the school, the per diem. So there is an expense that is more than just the transportation. So the cost, and over the years, there has been even more cost that we have reduced. So yes, you're right, you're fundraising and everything, and I'm with you, but there is an expense to the district. And even if it's $4,000, $5,000, if you multiply by every single sport, it could be a cost at the district. So that's what I was stating. The second piece is the fact that at the end of the day, the national competition is a prestigious thing. I don't take that away from you, and I don't take it away from the fact that it is difficult to train every day and not be able to go to national if that's the case, right? But I think it's important to also reflect on the fact that every team in our school and every team in Nassau County, Suffolk County, they compete under the New York State guidelines. So they compete at the county level. They have an opportunity to compete at that level. They have an opportunity to compete at the New York State Championship. So there are opportunities for them to get rewarded of their work. And as myself, a lot of times I compete for my satisfaction, my self-satisfaction. So I hope that the coach, and I hope that the entire team, and I hope that as a school, we're able to instill in them the joy of working out, competing, and at every level that comes with the competition. So if it's a county, if it's performing in front of an audience of 500 people at a homecoming, or if there is at a pep rally, I hope that they will find joy in what they do and not just find joy in the fact that we are Orlando, we are at Disney World or Hawaii or Italy or Japan or somewhere else. I think it's part of sporting and I think it's part of athletics, but I want to make it clear to you that their hard work is being recognized. They have an opportunity to be recognized at every level. I hope I answer your question.
Dr. Yanni, I had a question. So I just heard from one of the speakers that the Booster Club has funded a portion of this trip, and I know there's no affiliation. It's a separate 501c3 from the district. Is that an accurate statement that the Booster Club has financed anything in this trip, or is this solely coming from our school district funds?
Okay, I don't have the breakdown of how much was booster, how much was HECAP, but the students fundraised, and I believe that went into the student fund, and I'm not sure the Booster Club contribution to it. I can find out. I can get back to you.
So, Dr. Yanni, my understanding from the young ladies and the situation this evening is that they're not able to compete competitively within the state and county because they don't have a tumbling aspect to the team. So I think this Board of Education has always been very supportive of providing the equipment and the ability for our school to support a sport in order to compete competitively within the state and within the county. So I would support any equipment that would have to be purchased to support a tumbling team so that these young ladies can properly compete within our county and represent our school as they should be.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Okay, I will work with the athletic director to make sure that whatever equipment is needed to practice and become a true tumbling cheerleading team, we'll do that.
Okay, thank you. A motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second? Thank you. Good evening.